Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. Like a taste of some international intrigue and how the phony science engendering environmental alarmism is at the heart of it? Okay, well, sit back and try to follow this bouncing ball. We're going to bring together some seemingly unrelated points in this vortex. But the big picture: China is a communist nation and wants control of the planet. Let's start there. That's easy enough. That's the great big huge headline. Their major opposition, of course, is the U.S., which must be weakened and neutralized. Again, easy enough to grasp that. So let's look at how they are going about this, and for that, we must first turn our attentions to Europe. In order for China to gain entry to the halls of power in European capitals, it needs access. This is where Italy comes in. For the past decade or so, China has poured thousands of nationals into the Italian nation, predominantly in the north, in a multitude of industries. That little tidbit, you might remember, came out at the beginning of the pandemic as people were asking, why was Italy hit so hard by the virus? Well, China's two-pronged plan, global domination by influencing European politics and weakening America, is detailed quite extensively in a recent book entitled Red Contagion: How Italy Has Become China's Trojan Horse in the West. The author is Francesco Gaglietti, a highly respected and much sought-after business consultant who founded Policy Sonar, an outfit that tracks, among other things, massive movements of money around the globe through multiple hedge funds. In his book, he details how China targeted Italy as the soft underbelly, to borrow a phrase from World War II, as a soft underbelly path into European politics, specifically because of the heavy involvement of the Vatican in Italian politics. For the Chinese, it would be the Vatican that would prove to be the access point to Italy, and from there, the rest of Europe. Gaglietti, in his tracking of international hedge funds, tripped across information revealing that Rome has been getting $2 billion a year from Red China, a data point later confirmed and expanded on by Chinese billionaire dissident Guo Wengui, who said the deal has been going on for years, back to 2013. And you will note that was the beginning of the Francis pontificate. That, of course, helps explain the secret Vatican-China Accord of 2018, brokered by Theodore McCarrick, and Rome's willingness to throw the Chinese Catholics under the bus. But there's much more here. That is just China's European plan, which, of course, dovetails nicely into its American plan, with, you will note, the Vatican being at the heart of both plans. In America, the plan involves the destabilization of the U.S. economy, especially in the area of energy independence. And this is where the whole climate issue arises. Junk science pushed through universities, raking in billions of dollars every year in U.S. government research dollars for promoting the fake science, and the mainstream media have been banging this drum for environmental alarmism for years now. This despite the fact that China ranks near the very top of countries polluting the planet. But you'll notice no one ever brings that point up because it would be the cause of the entire plot to unravel. China gets treated like Hunter's laptop, Jeffrey Epstein's suicide, and ballot harvesting by the Marxist media. Nothing to see here, folks. Oh, no, can't see it, can't talk about it. When Trump pulled out of the Paris Accord, Marxist media, they went ballistic, accusing him of destroying the planet. Supposedly dangerous emissions from the U.S. couldn't hold a candle to those of China, yet not a mention, because the media are also down with the America Last policies. And we're sad to say as Catholics, so is Rome. For this reason, Pope Francis and his pontificate, including many bishops here in the U.S., have also been banging that drum about the coming collapse of the world because of the environment. Stupid. But hey, when the Vatican's pulling down $2 billion a year, maybe the name China just gets left out. Earlier this month, on the Feast of St. Francis, of course, the Pope released his latest uninformed, we hope, rambling on the environment, Laudate Deum. Praise God is the translation. He uses the document to blast what appears to be Americans living lifestyles that are supposedly destroying the environment. Meanwhile, not a word on China, despite its near world record level of emissions. Here's what it says. The oceans are boiling in essence, and America is to blame. Let's paraphrase, but it'd be a decent summary from a layman's perspective. But while he's big on citing data points on temps and storms and so forth and their impact, because nobody's denying that, for his underlying point that man is to blame, the Holy Father provides nothing by way of proof because there is no proof, and there is no proof because it's not true. It's called the weather, Holy Father. Global temps have risen and fallen forever. They always have, and they always will. But of course, the ignorant or perhaps devious assertion that man, specifically Americans, are the evil actors behind all of this has zero scientific backing at all, and Catholics are under zero obligation to believe any of this. But the propaganda plays nicely into the hands of the commies in Beijing, who want to keep all this garbage going so their counterparts, commies in D.C., will keep passing legislation that erodes the U.S. economy. Think Green New Deal. Smart move by the Chinese, really. Buying off the Vatican not only got them eventual access into European politics, but has also baptized all of this in America, seemingly with the blessing of the Pope. Francis even went out of his way to laud the U.S. bishops for their role in pushing this nonsense nonstop, and they do push it nonstop. Man has nothing to do with the changes in the environment. It changed long before we were here. Remember the Ice Age? Yet the globalists have dominated the messaging in this with their constant propaganda in the media, so much so that all of this is now just accepted as facts, like the Joseph Goebbels thing. Lie big enough, long enough, people believe it. For this reason, Church Militant, to expose all of this and the role of the religious left, including many in the Catholic clergy, is holding our second press conference, this one in Baltimore, that we've attached the press release for details for you to go over there, on how the religious left is aiding and abetting, not to mention profiting handsomely from the destruction of the Republic. The Deposit of Faith Coalition is once again bringing in politically conservative media to present the facts to them from various speakers, including last year's Nobel Prize winner in physics, John Clauser, who will tear apart the supposed scientific claims that man is causing changes in the weather. The weather changes, true. Man causes that to happen, false. But as long as the false narrative rules the day, Marxists can use that propaganda to pass economy-destroying legislation that ultimately helps them gain control over Western democracies, especially the United States. So we're asking you to please pitch in here and donate and help keep the ball rolling here, the momentum going, in exposing all of this. Remember, commies have a 100-year head start on us, and nothing's going to get fixed overnight. We got to play catch-up hard. Events like this take tens of thousands of dollars to put on. They are massively involved. The personnel, the place, the travel, the equipment, and so forth. They're huge efforts that at the end of the day, you all need to take the bow for, as we've said earlier. We do the grunt work, but you're the real heroes. Without you and your determination and donations, these things, they just can't happen. And the political conservative media outlets are deprived of the major data point connecting all of these dots. So please click on the donate button and lend your support to help educate the politically conservative media about the real story here, how the religious left, including Catholic clergy, are undermining the Republic and helping usher in Marxism on our own shores. Thank you in advance for your donation. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.